Welcome to Section 1. This is the second video of the Interface series, Module 2A, the Navigator. This is the first part of two modules where I look at the Navigator palettes. The first part, I will look at the project chooser and the first three buttons, which are the Navigator maps. I will cover each aspect in detail with examples, and in the second part, I will look at the publisher. The level of this module is basic to intermediate. Let's get started. When you open the default Archicad template for the first time, it probably looks something like this, a blank canvas. Click on the top right icon to expand the tab. This is the pop-up Navigator. You can use this Navigator through your project, but it is missing some actions, and most importantly, the project map. To open the Navigator palette, right-click in this space or click on this tab and open Show Navigator. The Navigator palette has 5 icons: the project chooser, project map, the view map, the layout book, and the publisher set. The Navigator palette can also be activated or deactivated in the Windows menu. If you right-click on the project name, a sub-menu opens with various setting options. Click on Project Info and a dialog box opens where you can enter details of the project. Click on the project name and type in the Navigator. Right-click on the project name again and click on Location Settings. There are a number of settings you can edit in this dialog box, the first being the site address. You can, or rather, should set the geographic coordinate system, north or south, and west or east. If you only need a rough GCS, then you can select a city with this button. You can export or import the GCS as an XML file and save it to your project folder. You would have to select the correct time zone from the list by pressing this button. If you have the exact address, then you can find the site in Google Maps. Click on the site, then click on its GCS. It will give you the coordinates in degrees, minutes, and seconds, and in decimal degrees. Copy both sets of values. Then I like to paste them onto Notepad. Then I can enter the values into the correct boxes. The next step is to enter the easting and northing values. For this, I use a coordinate converter. Anyone online will do. This one seems to be fairly comprehensive. It allows me to input decimal, latitude, and longitude values. Place the values as shown on the notepad into the two boxes marked decimal latitude and decimal longitude. Once that's done, press the Convert button, and it will give you the resulting values. Copy these and paste them onto the Notepad document. Now close the Conversion app and paste the easting and northing values into the Location Settings dialog box, and the project location is set. Right-click on the name again and select Preferences. This is where you set all the working units for the project. Or you can access the preferences in the Options menu and open the Working Units dialog box. Next, click on the Project Chooser. Here you can manage projects from the Navigator or Organizer. The top section displays the active Archicad project plus any external project files you've accessed. You can browse a file directory from another Archicad project if you need to use its content in the active project. Click on Browse Project and select the file named Temporary. The file is added to the list. Next, click on Show Organizer. The Organizer palette has the same controls as the Navigator, but has a double tree structure that allows an easy method of copying files and layouts from one map to the other. There are three Organizer modes. The first one is the View Editor mode. This mode has the project map on the left and the view map on the right. You save views by selecting a view from the project map and clicking Save View, or by dragging and dropping it into the view map on the right. The second mode is the Layout Editor mode. Here the view map is on the left and the layout book is on the right. Select a view or views from the view map and either place drawing or drag and drop the view into the layout book. The third mode is the Publisher mode. Here the layout book is on the left and the publisher is on the right. Select a layout from the layouts from the left and either click Add Shortcut, which will link to subsequent changes, or drag and drop the layouts into the publisher, but the latter will not link to subsequent changes. Next, I'm going to look at the Drawing Manager. To illustrate how this can be used, I have modeled a simple house at ground floor, at first floor, and at roof level. I've also added a section and an elevation. To open the Drawing Manager, click on the Project Chooser button and select Show Drawing Manager. The Drawing Manager allows you to easily and effectively check the status of all the drawings in Archicad, and most importantly, in your layout book. It is a list, and the order of the list can be changed by clicking on one of the headings in the header bar. This column shows the status of the layouts. The ones shown in red refer to the basement or foundations and are shown as missing. They show in red because although there is a layout set up for them, I have deleted them in my story settings. The ones in yellow have not been read or updated. If I click on another heading, you can see the order of the list changes. This one will order the list by file type, and this one by ID. When you click on a heading like Name, Status, or Layout Number, the list will be sorted accordingly. If you right-click in the header bar, you can add or delete a heading to the list. You can dock the palette to make more space in the work area. Now, if you click on the ground floor and then click on Update command, the status will read as OK, meaning the layout has been updated. Next, scroll up to the layout sheet on which the ground floor has been placed. Then double-click on it, and the drawing will be shown on the layout sheet as it appears in the layout book. Zoom in to check the drawing scale, and you'll see that the drawing number matches that shown in the Drawing Manager. Now, if you click on its settings, the Drawing Settings dialog box opens, where you can check and edit the settings. Let's change the drawing scale from 1 in 50 to 1 in 100, and then press OK. The drawing will scale down to 1 in 100, and this will automatically change the scale in the drawing title block. Next, I'm going to open the ground floor plan in the project map. Then I'll select the wall tool and make some changes. I'll place 2 walls to illustrate what happens. If I click on another drawing in the Drawing Manager, you'll notice the status of the preview now reads as needs checking. And if you double-click on it or press the Update command, it will update and read as OK. The Drawing Manager should always be used to check the drawings in the layout book, especially before printing them or issuing them, as changes may have been made without updating the drawings. Next, I'm going to look at the project map, the view map, and the layout book. To illustrate how these can be used effectively in a project, I have modeled a very basic house with a few walls, a staircase, some generic furniture, and some lighting and electric items. But before I do that, let's have a quick look at the project layers. You will most likely have your own preferred layer system with your own layer names and layer combinations, but for this purpose I will use the default layers and only add 2 new layer combinations. The first one I've added is GA Plan Design, where I've hidden certain layers, amongst which are power and lighting outlet products and dimensions. The second one I've added is GA Plan Construction, where I've unhidden the dimension layer and hidden the general FFA and E systems, which in this case is the furniture. Now click on the view map, select Plans, and click on Ground Floor Plan. The view will change to one with no dimensions and no lighting. I have the opportunity to change the settings in the Quick Options bar. It shows the current settings in the active window, such as scale, layers, and pen sets. I'm going to change the graphic override to something a little less technical. There are a number of different default overrides, and if you can't find one to suit, then you can make your own. I'll choose White Model for the design layouts. When you're happy with the resulting view, then you must make sure the view settings are saved. Right-click on the ground floor and select View Settings, then click on Get Current Window Settings. This is also where you can change any of the settings, and they will be retained in the view, but only if you select Get Current Window Settings and press OK. Next, close the Design folder and open the Production folder in View Map, then Plans, Proposed, and Ground Floor. The view changes to one with no graphic overrides, but it's not quite what I need, so right-click on the ground floor and select View Settings. Here I can change the layer to GA Plans Construction. The rest of the settings I will leave as they are. Make sure that Graphic Overrides reads as No Overrides, then press Get Current Windows Settings and OK. This view now has no furniture, but has dimensions and is more suitable for a construction layout. For the last layout, the electrics layout, I will clone a folder. First, I'll open New Folder, name it 2000 Electrics. Then click on the Clone a Folder icon. This opens the Clone a Folder dialog box, which lists all the folders in the project map. For this, I only need the floor plans. Click on Stories, then click on Clone. The stories are cloned into the folder. You can now open the folder and select the view settings. Rename Stories to Plans Electrics. Select the layer combination and set it to Electrical Plans. Then click on the Graphic Override button and select Ceiling Plans. If we've done everything correctly, then the plan view should look like this. Don't forget to click on Get Current Windows Settings. Next, I'm going to look at the Layout Book. The Layout Book gives you sets of virtual sheet layouts of different sizes, from A0 to A4. These are default master layouts, and you can use them to make your own layout and title block. To do this, click on New Master Layout, and a dialog box opens where you can give it a new name and edit the settings. You can select a layout size from the list or make a custom size. If I select A3 Metric and Landscape, then press Create, a blank sheet with default margins will be the result. You can draw your own title block or copy the default and paste it into the new layout and then edit it. Right-click on the new layout and select Master Layout Settings, where I'll edit the margins and reduce them all to 5 mm. Then I'll change the layout name to A3 Planning Landscape. Next, I'm going to add a logo to the title block. Click on the Figure tool, and in the dialog box, open the file of your saved logo. I have saved my logo as a PNG file named 3DPL logo. Click Open. You can edit all the settings, but I'm going to adjust the figure size, making sure that I keep the proportions. Click OK, and the figure of the logo will open, and it can be positioned wherever you want in the title block. And now you have a new master layout. The layout book can be displayed in 3 different formats. Click the Display tab. First one I'm going to look at is the tree by subset. This is the default display and lists the layouts with their drawings into the folders you've created, such as Design, Production, Presentation, etc. Click on the ground floor plan in the Design subset. The layout is shown on the A3 Production Landscape Master, which I have not yet designed. You can change this in the Settings dialog box, or you can click on the Master Layout button in Properties and select A3 Planning Landscape Master. Next, open the Production subset and select Ground Floor Plan. The master layout is still set to default A2 Landscape. Click on the drawing and move it to the bottom left of the layout. You can trim the edges of the drawing to exclude any unwanted parts of the drawing. Next, open the first floor layout and copy the first floor plan drawing. Then reopen the ground floor layout sheet, place the drawing, then reposition it to align it with the other floor plan. That's one way of placing a drawing on the layout sheet. Another way is to open a drawing in the view map, right-click and select Save View and place on layout. It will automatically open the last layout sheet and the cursor shape change to crosshairs. You can then place the drawing anywhere on the layout sheet and trim it as necessary. The next layout display format is Tree by Master. As the name suggests, this display lists all the master layouts from A0 to A4. Click on the layout to see the drawing sheet with the ground floor plan. The third display format is the Tree by Current Submittal set. This lists only the layout sheets that have been added to the latest issue set. I haven't added an issue set yet, but when I do, I would probably have a transmittal schedule with a list of the current layouts that have been issued. This brings us to the end of the interface module 2A. Thank you for watching. The next video is the interface module 2B, where I will look at the publisher set. I hope to see you there.